for this week, we are going to be considering lesson 3 for week 1, which is when can you trade Forex? So now we've known what Forex is, and then we know why we trade Forex, and a bit of who the participants are in the Forex markets. We also have to understand when we can trade Forex, okay? So let me pull up the notepad for this topic. When can we trade Forex, right? So, yeah, it's true. First of all, you have to note that the Forex market opens 24/7, 24/5 rather. Okay, that's one thing you have to note first. So the Forex market is open 24 hours, 5 days a week. All right, that's one. So it's always active for the entire day from Monday, or let's say Sunday midnight, depending on where you are. Sunday midnight to Friday just before midnight, right? So it's usually open for all of this period of time, except Saturdays and Sundays as well. So you can make money trading the markets when it moves up or down within this period of time. But you'll find it very difficult to make money when the market is not moving at all. So one of the things that I explained earlier in the course, if you've not watched the video, go and watch the video for lesson 1. One of the things that I explained earlier was I took out time to explain the various classifications of currency pairs, and I give you examples under each of those classifications. Now, one thing that is key in relation to your trading time is the fact that you would find it difficult to make money trading when the particular currency pair you're trading is not moving at all. Okay, so one would expect that the currency pairs, since they are open for 24 hours, 5 days a week, would be constantly moving in those periods of time, but that's not true. There are moments where you have some currency pairs more volatile. What that means is that there are moments where you have the currency pairs faster, move better, move smoother than the others. So you have an example where the euro USD, the GBP USD would move better right, and be more volatile during the London and New York session. So most of the time, you have people who end up trading Euro USD during the Asian session and all of that, and during Sydney session. The truth about it is that ultimately, you want to be trading the currency pair when the economy, the underlying economy that controls the fundamentals of that currency pair is active, right? For the euro dollar and the Great British Pound dollar, you'd find that because they involve the US economy and the British economy and then the European economy, they move better. They are more volatile and they move better during the hours of the various trading session I just mentioned, which is the London trading session and the New York trading session. So that brings us to what I would call the trading sessions or Forex market hours, right? So basically, I had explained somewhere in the course in the beginning, I think that's like the introductory video of the course, when I stated that there were several trading sessions which I was going to discuss in details later. So for now, let's do this. So we have the first one, I already mentioned it, London session. And then we have New York session. And then we have the Sydney session, right? And you have the Tokyo session. Now, for the purposes of the fact that we basically or mostly trade major currency pairs, I would give us the time for all of these sessions, but I would stick to the London and the New York session because that's where most of the other currency pairs move better, because almost all the major currency pairs, in fact, all the major currency pairs have the US dollar as their quote or base currency. So, of course, there would be a lot of movement during those sessions, right? So you have situations where, let me just give you a bit of an overview. You have situations where, based on the time of day, right, you're in, these currency pairs can align differently. But I would be using two different categories of time zone to basically break down the currency pairs. So for the London session, you have UTC. For those who are in Africa and Nigeria and Ghana, and it will be UTC +1. But it's easier for you to set this on your trading view, and we would set this up when we are doing setting up of applications on our app. So for the UTC time zone, you have London open at 8 a.m. right? Sorry, London open at 7 a.m. At 7 a.m. and London close at 4 p.m. So like I said, if you are in Nigeria or Africa or any other part of like the African continent, Western Africa and all of that, you would basically have a +1, right, to any of this time that I just included here. So let me specifically state this. So this is for Western African countries. You'd have this. So if you're in, okay, the next time zone I would use is Eastern time. You would have London open and London close. Okay, so you have London open by 7 a.m. in the morning. So you would have London open and London close, and you have London open by 2 a.m. in the morning and close by London open by 2 a.m. in the morning and close by 11 p.m. at night. Okay, so this is for London zone. I would give the last two out for you to make your research about, and then comment the timing based on UTC and then your own time zone, UTC +1, in the comment section, or on the group, right? But this is for London session, both for Eastern time and UTC. So you have New York session, and then for UTC, you have basically opens by 1 p.m. and closes by 1 p.m. and closes by 10 p.m. And then for Eastern time, you have the market open at 8 a.m. and close by 5 p.m. So Sydney and Tokyo would be for your personal research. Now, in continuously building on what we already have, we must also consider the currency pairs that move better during this period of time. Okay, so for London session, I already mentioned GBP USD, and you also have Euro USD. So here is the same thing. You have Euro USD because they overlap. If you notice, the London session and the New York session usually overlaps. And you have the USD card, and you also have what other major currencies move within this period. Still, GBP USD also moves quite well during this period. So you could do your research and find out other currency pairs that move better during this session. But these are just the basics. When we go into practical trading, and which we would start in earnest quite soon, sooner than expected actually, you would discover the relevance of this, because no volatility means no market movement. And if the market is not moving, how do you want to make money, right? How do you want to have opportunities to trade? So for you to have opportunities, the market has to move. And for the market to move, you must be trading the currency pairs with the sessions they align with. Okay? You must be trading the currency pairs with the sessions they align with. Now, for the purpose of the uniqueness of the video and the location of the class and the students, I would like to just, make some adjustments with respect to our Nigerian time. I don't know if that would be okay. So I'll just put here, right? Or let me just put West African time. So London opens. London opens at 8 a.m. and closes at 5 p.m., right? And then you also have, this is for the months of, okay, I'm just going to mention this now. Because of daylight savings, there's a difference or a shift in time, right? With London open and London close, particularly for West African countries and all of that. Other countries move obviously shift their time, but we tend not to shift our own time, and so it causes a bit of confusion and all. So, for the purpose of daylight savings, your London open in the months of March, April, October, and November. So, for March, April, October, and November, your London Open would be, your London trading session, okay, would be 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nigerian time or West African time, right? For this month, because of daylight savings, okay, the adjustment of time for most countries. Now, also, if you're in West Africa, the New York session, right, would be, I'm not going into Tokyo and Asia because that would be midnight in West African time. And then you really would not have to trade a lot of currency pairs in that period of time because the Asian market and the Australian markets do not often move that much. So Asian session is also Tokyo session, and Sydney session is also Australian session. So just note the names in case you see the same names somewhere else. It's basically the same thing. So for this one, you have 2 p.m., right? Opens at 2 p.m. and closes at what time? closes at 11 p.m. So same thing also applies here. Daylight savings for the month of March, April, October, and November. You just add +1 hour to the already listed time, and then you have your session correctly aligned. Of course, when we go into setting up your trading view, I would show you how to set it up in London time so it doesn't affect you. You just look at your charts and you know what time of day that you're going to be trading in. And then the truth about it is that there are strategies that are time-based, right? OB, for instance, ORB, which is one of my favorite trading strategy, which I would teach. There are various variations of OB, so please don't go searching, wait for me to explain it. OB is one of my favorite trading strategy. It is time-based, right? So it's important that you set the correct time and you know the correct time. Beyond knowing when the market moves, so it's important that you set the correct time and you know the correct time for your trades, right? So that you don't have mistakes, particularly if you're going to be using one of my time-based trading strategy, which I will be teaching in the course of this training or this course. So thank you very much for watching this video up until now, to the very end of the video. So I would give you guys a bit of some work to do. Consider it a classwork. So you're supposed to state the Sydney or Australian session time for UTC and West African time, and you're supposed to do the same thing for Tokyo session, either in your notes or on the comment section, whichever one you prefer. So have a nice day. I will be coming your way shortly with more videos for this course so we can speed up our learning process and then get to actual trading in no time. Thank you.